A quick unbox today. Another box has come through. This is from Fergus, or he goes by the name of FeralCheese, which is one of my favourite internet names. And this apparently is Vic20 related. Another donation that arrived because I said we haven't got any Vic20s. So this is currently Vic20 number 2. And but I think there's some extras in here, and judging by the size of the box, I'm not surprised that there's some extras in here. We have a note. Dear Lee, as promised, please find enclosed some Vic20 bits and pieces, and I'm hoping not in bits and pieces when it arrives. I have had the computer a number of years, since the early noughties, and at the time I simply tested it and stuck it away in storage. As it was still stuck in storage, I figured the chances of me actually using it were exactly 0%, so I thought I'd donate this and the other bits for you to auction. I have recently tested the unit, though not with any specific diagnostic cart and harness, but I can tell you the picture and sound are good. The joystick port works, not tested paddles, it loads from cassette, disc and cartridges work as well. I couldn't test the user port. I haven't got a test harness actually for the Vic20. Might be something I need to look into. Included in the box is the computer in reasonable condition, the PSU that really needs a new mains cable fitted as it had been cut way too short, not by me I'll add. A selection of cartridges, 1 or 2 are a bit flaky but most work just fine. A dataset unit which works but needs attention as it doesn't sound too happy, and a Commodore joystick that will need attention as the right movement doesn't always register. The only thing I didn't have spare was the video cable, and I didn't have the original external RF modulator either. As you open this box, the other box for the auction containing the C64D TV is winging its way over the pond to Jerry Ellsworth to be signed and sent back to yourself. This is something that Fergus did off his own back. He atted Jerry on Twitter and said, would you sign this thing to support the charity donation fundraising thing? And she just instantly said yes. So that's actually being sent over to Jerry now, and which is amazing. Kind regards, Fergus. Forgot to mention the key contacts also need a bit of a clean. Oh, great. Thank you, Fergus. Let's have a look at the power supply first. Oh yeah, this that needs some attention. Can't leave that like that. Is that the mains end? Yeah, that's nice and easy to change then. We can sort that out. And it's 2-pin, one of the originals. Oh, a boxed Commodore joystick. These are... does feel weird going to the right, actually. It doesn't feel right. A truly horrible joystick. Brilliant, but nice to have. Assume this is the data set. Oh no, this is a set of data. Wow. This is really nice. Oh, imagine, anytime I see that logo, just nostalgic feelings come back, and Ultimate as well, but imagine an Ultimate were the big games for me. So Jetpack's fantastic. Wacky Waiters, Jetpack and Bewitched. Machine language monitor cartridge. Oh, fancy. That's there's something wrong with that. It's spinning on the screw. So that will need some attention. See, when I saw the penultimate cartridge from that came the other day from the last Vic20 bundle, it had this slot in the back, and I thought, well, I wonder what that's for. And look, it's actually on Vic20 cartridges. I never realised that. Radar rat race. 3K RAM cartridge. Brilliant. Road race. Oh, this one's doing the same thing, look. Hot glue needed. Must be some plastic standoffs inside that have broken off. A mega race. Superlander. Yep, that one's gone as well. Only to one side. Very strange. Mission Impossible. A little bit of movement and a nice orange PCB there. Sargon 2 chess. Superlander. Excellent condition. And Jelly Monsters. Fabulous. Here's the data set. Is it the same as the last one? Well, a moulded plug that the other one didn't have. And this looks more like I would expect, I think. Yeah, this is more of the later versions. So is it C2N? I can never remember the name of these things. The Commodore data set. It's a little bit grubby inside. It's not too bad. The wheel, the pinch roller wheel, is really, that wheel there, very difficult to see. Is completely caked in something. Look at this. In excellent condition. Isn't that the same keyboard? See, I'm not an expert on, well, I'm not an expert on many things, but Vic20s I'm definitely not an expert on, but that looks like the same keyboard to me, and I've been told that the pet style keyboard is the rare one. I've had two come in and they both had the same keyboard. I think it's the same keyboard. It looks the same to me. But yeah, brilliant. Thank you, Fergus. That is so kind of you, and it's going to make a brilliant addition. Squeaking. A brilliant addition to the charity fundraising. Right, so there's all of that. Plus, I've made some changes to. Well, I'm trying to build things. I'll show you something I've built. This was something I built yesterday during a break in play when, from editing, and it's the Lazarus Storm with the Pi Storm on top and a Raspberry Pi on top of that, and which is fun to build and a pain to get working because the Pi Storm GitHub instructions are quite out of date. They ask you to use a certain piece of software to program the CPLD on the Pi Storm, and that piece of software is now not supported. It's been updated and now doesn't work with this CPLD, so it doesn't work. And so I went searching for answers, and the best answers I got were, oh yeah, use an earlier version. So I typed in the command to, you know, apt-get blah install. I'm not a fan of Linux. I can't even say it right. And I struggle with using it. I followed the instructions from various sources saying use this earlier version, and it just refused to install because that version didn't exist, and it's been that earlier version has been removed, so that wouldn't work. It was a day of frustration trying to get that to work. In the end, one of my amazing Discord members, Kosam, came to the rescue, and he pointed me to a different way of installing the firmware for the Pi Storm, and that just worked instantly. And from there, it was all mostly plain sailing. It's quite the Pi Storm is an amazing feat of technology. It's a brilliant piece of design, and I do love it. I think it's great. It's so frustrating to use though. So frustrating because of all the many different pieces of software that you can use with it. The different ways that you can actually make it work with different types of machine mean that it's a bit of a minefield when it comes to finding instructions, clear instructions on how to put things together. But what I think I'm going to do for the ones that I'm going to put on these Lazarus Storm boards that will be included with the Amiga 500. Oh, that was the other thing. I tested it with my 500, my Amiga A500, and it was all right. It wasn't a great experience, but that's a 512K chip memory and no other memory computer. Obviously the PyStorm adds a load of fast memory, but 512k chip memory is actually a bit tight. So the revision 500 is not the ideal machine to use it with, and it's a bit flaky having the processor in the expansion, in the side expansion slot. But the Amiga 500s that we're selling, there's two that I know of, I think. Well, they're actually, well, no, what, the one that's just come, I don't know what's in there. The one that came the other day, I don't know. If that's a revision 6A, then and we can add chip memory to it, then it'll be worth putting a PyStorm with it. But if that hasn't got the right, I feel bad about putting a PyStorm with a machine that's going to be hamstrung by it. So the PyStorms, because I can't sell these individually, the PyStorms will only go with the Amiga 500 pluses. Maybe we can upgrade the A500 that came yesterday, day before yesterday. So when I was building these, the thing that I ran into was the pin headers for the PyStorm to attach to the Lazarus Storm, because it has to be these turn pin type pins. You can't use the big chunky square pins. It has to be the round pins, machined pins. I'm running out and they're expensive, so I have bought some more. I bought I think these are just the male to female ones. Yeah, so those 5, which are going to do like 2.5 Lazarus Storms, are £5 or £5.99, I think they are, or something like that. And so I bought 2 boxes of those, and I used the funds that are left over in the coffee account that I said I'm going to use for buying charity stuff. So I used that. Also, I got this from Ian Rocky at Vintage Views off of my Amazon wish list. Came at the same time. Oh, these are the right angle ones. Right, so they aren't for that. They're for something else. I can't remember what they're for, but yeah, thank you anyway, Ian. That's really kind of you. The other thing I need is this style. This is all I've got left out of my stash. Again, to buy 40-way strips of these, to buy 5 of them from Amazon is £6 a pack. So they do get expensive. So I could buy a whole load of them from like the likes of RS. It does work out a little bit cheaper, but they are just still quite expensive things to buy. But I thought I would add them to my Amazon wish list, and so that people could buy some for the charity fundraising, so that to help me build things like this. So I've not only got to build the Lazarus Storms and PyStorms, I've also got to build some RGB to HDMI boards as well. So they all need those pin headers. So yeah, if you can help out, that'll be really good. Right, the next thing for me to do is finish this next video, which I haven't really advertised. I've hinted at what it is, and that will be coming out on Thursday. I will be working my bits off trying to get that finished, in spite of many obstacles being thrown in my way, technical obstacles. The footage just disappearing off of my hard drive. That happened for the first time to me, where I've added a piece of footage to the timeline, loaded up the next day, and it said media offline. So I've looked in the source folder where I'd put all of that footage. It's just gone. It doesn't exist anymore, and I have no idea. It's like somebody's come in and deleted it maliciously. But you know, Celebi, I've edited around it, and hopefully it won't make any big difference to the final video. Also, another thing was, I'm using DaVinci Resolve, which is just wonderful, but I've had a couple of problems with it, where I'm adding footage from my microscope, which is up there, and it's not recognizing the sound. And then it does recognize the sound. And then I just started converting all of the footage, which took hours to convert, hours of footage. I had to run it through Handbrake to convert it so that the sound would be recognized in DaVinci Resolve. And then it started working again. So I stopped that process and carried on editing, and then it stopped working again. It's been, you know, very frustrating, and I'm almost ready to move on to another project now. But anyway, that's enough of my moaning out of the way. Yeah, so that'll be coming out on Thursday, and I really can't wait to share that with you. It's a huge video, really important one. Not for me, but well, it might be. And I'm just so excited to get it out there. But there we go. Right, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.